Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I'd like to talk to you about the upcoming campaign and pocket dimension, theory crafting the best teams to use against them, because they're super important events that are going to give us teal gear. Teal gear is such a big bottleneck, not to mention the characters that are going to be coming with these events. Hugely important characters for the arena, which is great for our core intake. So we got to make sure we get these events right. We're not sure about the campaign's difficulty because there's a new heroic mode. So I want to make sure we're maybe trying a bit harder than we have before, though this could be completely overkill. If you're a newer player, this will probably be most beneficial towards you, as you can build up these characters in preparation now. I think you only have about a week for Doctor Strange, unfortunately, but for Pocket Dimension, I think you're going to have about a month, maybe 3 weeks or so that should give you enough time to prepare. You do not want to miss out on Pocket Dimension rewards. Start building for that now. Without further ado, let's get into it. So just looking at the campaign event to start, because this is the one we really don't know much about. I'm going to move myself over a bit here. And let's pause this for a second so we can read this data mine and get out of the way. So there is the new difficulty, the heroic difficulty, and it's important to note, the heroic difficulty rewards feature teal gear. That's right, we're getting a new little relief on the valve that is teal gear. And it's completing the heroic difficulty missions automatically earns first time rewards for both hard and heroic difficulties. No word if this is going to increase the shard amounts we get. I think that would be a little bit too optimistic, but the teal gear is a good start, a good way to inject a little bit of fun into the game. So this is going to be an important thing. I think we should make sure we get our team down right. This is the possible members that you can use in the event. I'm hiding a few, but I don't think they're very important. Let me just see. Wolverine's pretty useful, but I'm not actually going to recommend him. As an early player, though, he could be very useful for you. But let me show you the 5 I'm going to pick. So we're going to start with Zemo. Then Deathpool. Gamora. Nebula. Obviously, Gamora and Nebula. And finally, Lady Deathstrike. Let's pull these guys up. So this is going to be my 5. This is going to be, for me, a complete overkill, regardless of how difficult they make this heroic mode. I'm not worried about this at all. But let me talk to you about why, even if you're 200k power less than what my team is, and I'm going to show you the power of my team here in a second, I think this is still going to be your best bet. How this works in theory is Zemo goes first, he gets a quick ability block off, plus a bunch of slows, peels off any kind of defense up, or spawn taunt. Nebula goes next. She's going to call in an assist for Gamora, speed Gamora up, put some dodges on the two of them. That's cool. Maybe some counters, or maybe even just use the basic to keep speed up. But Nebula is going to be our source of vulnerables on this team, along with the crits from Zemo, I guess. Next, Deathpool is going to be used to spread some bleeds from Lady Deathstrike, some ability blocks and slows from Zemo, so you're going to get ahead of the game. Lady Deathstrike is just huge damage, turn me to rewind, bleeds, defense down, you name it. Lady Deathstrike is an amazing character, not just in war offense. And finally, Gamora. Gamora is going to snowball. She gets to use her regular special and regular ultimate, because there's only one Infinity Watch, remember, before she goes empowered. And then she's going to have her abilities back up again. So this is why it works out really well. The ideal turn order here is going to be Zemo, then Nebula, then Gamora. Hopefully with the damage from Zemo and the damage from Nebula with the assist from Gamora is going to set somebody up for Gamora to get the kill on her special, then she uses the ultimate to get another kill, and then she's going to basic somebody to death. And then Lady Deathstrike's going to come in. A new wave probably has spawned by then. She's going to rewind that wave, putting bleeds out there. Deathpool can go and spread that, or she can go put her own bleeds out, whatever the case may be with the nodes. We don't know the nodes yet, but this team should annihilate the first wave, and then you should go into the second wave ready with some big cooldowns, Lady Deathstrike ultimate, name one, and an empowered Gamora, with Deathpool obviously doing her passive pings on enemy deaths. I think this is going to be a fantastic team, though there are some other options. But this is my team. Let's look at the power. So yeah, my team's 855k. Let's look at some other strong power groups other people might have. So there is the uncanny option. Yes, there's 4 uncanny members. Well, I guess Wolverine's technically uncanny, right? But you could go the X-Men route here with Phoenix, Colossus, Magic, and Wolverine. The problem with this is going to be you're not going to 3-star the events, the nodes, right? If Phoenix dies, that is. A good fifth for this, I would still probably go with Death Pool, getting a bunch of those on-death pings. And if Death Pool, or if the Uncanny team rather, isn't doing enough damage, then you go with Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike will get a bunch of pings out there, or Gamora, same kind of concept. But Uncanny is an option if all you want to do is beat it the first time. If there's no extra shard rewards for doing the heroic difficulty, but just beating it once gets you that teal gear, then this will be an option, which I think is pretty cool. So there's the Uncanny option, and then way out of left field, there is also the Brotherhood option. Yes, super old characters, very power crept, but there is an interesting theory behind this, and essentially you would get a turn 1 blind on everybody. Lady Deathpool, I'm just going to call her Deathpool. Deathpool can spread it all. Lady Deathstrike can come in with her special and hit a bunch of extra people, doing a bunch of damage, and then Scarlet Witch is going to come in, extend it all, make sure everyone has defense down before Juggernaut runs through them. That would be good for one wave. Then the second wave might get a little uglier. I think the Brotherhood option would be the weakest of these three choices. Uncanny would be just to get through it, and I think my lineup is probably the best out there. It's a Psycho Zerg team that relies on getting early kills, which is going to be very easy to do with Zemo and Gamora doing their thing so quickly. And then you're going to go into the next waves, prep with your cooldowns and walk through it. So I do like my team the best, but here are some other options. And that's for the campaign. The teal gear for the campaign, we don't know how much it is, but we do know Pocket Dimension, and we know how generous those rewards were. I don't know if we're going to get another 150 gold promos. I would love another 150 gold promos. I could definitely use some of those. But the teal gear from it, the SBCs, it's really good. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to rerun old Pocket Dimensions for players who weren't able to complete it. They're just going to run the next Pocket Dimension. They're going to roll it like that. And we're assuming there's a Pocket Dimension based on a data mine that I don't actually have pulled up in this video. But you should be prepared. There is a tag in the game that we don't know what it's for, but it reeks of Pocket Dimension. It looks just like the last Pocket Dimension. The old trait was Resolute. This one is Disciple, I believe. And you'll notice the characters here aren't as, let's say, impactful as for the campaign event. Now, I assume the Pocket Dimension here is going to be just as difficult as the last Pocket Dimension, which was fairly easy. So, I'm not too worried about it. Again, for me, I'll show you the characters I'm going to pick. We'll talk about some possible alternatives. But the difference between Pocket Dimension and campaign is that it's a continuous event. You have to go from node to node to node, hopefully without healing, because it's going to cost cores or that Dark Dimension heal stuff. And you have a time limit to do it. The campaign, you're either going to beat it all the first day, or you're going to slowly work your way through it, but every node is a reset on your character's cooldowns and life. Not the case for Pocket Dimension, so we need to craft a team that can carry you all the way through. So let me show you who I'm going to use. Black Bolt. Iceman, yes, Iceman. Morbius. Night Nurse. And Yo-Yo. And let's pull these guys out. And let's talk about this team for a minute. Based on what I just said about the continuous nature, this is the team that I think I prefer. Night Nurse is really the only solid healer that we have. Scarlet Witch does have that special where she rebalances. Some people have her as a healer, but I would not suggest using her as a healer anymore given her new rework and her new team. So I think Night Nurse is the best pick to make sure that you are consistently going from node to node healthy, which is very important in Pocket Dimension. You have a limited time and you need to beat it twice. And you have that, I think there's one 24-hour cooldown in there. So Night Nurse, I think, is the must-have for sure. Next, I like Iceman because of the slows. I'm going from right to left here. I like Iceman because of the slows. I'm probably never going to use his special. All I'm going to be using is his ultimate for a giant AoE slow to start every node, and then I'll be using his basic for the slow splash. Iceman, I think, is a fantastic pick because he's a raid character. You need him in the raids for the mutant section. He's so impactful there, and though he doesn't get all of his goodies, like he doesn't reduce the damage of enemies, I don't think, outside of raid, the slow itself is going to be super impactful, letting you get a bunch of extra turns. And for that matter, Night Nurse is very, very good in war, not so much in the skill section of raid anymore, so take that, use that information as you will. Then, Morbius. Yes, my new character Morbius. My Morbius is probably going to be a lot more built than other people's. I did go pretty hard on them because I was very, very hungry for another Heroes for Hire counter. So maybe that is specifically to me. And we are going to talk about some, well, basically the only other options I think people should invest in unless they have giant other characters already. But anyway, Morbius, he has a very, very strong ultimate, but mostly it's his special. The low cooldown special with big bleeds, and a big Morbius does a lot of damage. Not to mention he's very self-sustaining, which I think is great. So that's why I picked Morbius. Then we have Black Bolt. Black Bolt's big, big damage. He's going to burp people out of existence. He's going to help us with any kind of summoners that we might face. He's good at stripping buffs. His burp, I already said that, but you get what I'm saying. He's a big damage dealer, and I need him on the team just as a presence. He's very imposing. And finally, Yo-Yo goes with Black Bolt without saying, but also we have no protectors on this team, so we're going to get offense down on all the enemies. So they're not going to hit us super hard. They're going to be slowed by Iceman, so they're not going to take too many turns. And the turns they do take, Night Nurse is going to counteract them, while Morbius like rips people apart, Black Bolt burps them out of existence, and we're going to slowly play our way through this pocket dimension. This pocket dimension probably isn't going to be as fun as the last pocket dimension. We had a lot more AoE damagey characters in the last one, like Omega Red, Miles, Scarlet Spider, Yondu. I soloed it with Yondu, which was super fun. But I'm not worried about getting this event completed. And maybe that's just me. So let's go ahead and look at my team. So another big team, 730k. I'm not too worried about it. Let's talk about other strong power groups that you might want to consider if you got to build from scratch. I don't have to build up any of my characters, which is why I'm not too worried. But if you do need to build characters, I think there's a better route, namely the Darkhold. The Darkhold only makes sense to build, and here's the thing. I didn't mention it in the last event where we were talking about the campaign, but these two characters carry over in both modes. We don't know what character is going to be released in the Pocket Dimension, or if it even will be a character, but the assumption is it's going to be Agatha, and I think they'll throw Agatha in here as well as we get nearer of the Pocket Dimension. I think they're just hiding that so we don't know the release method. Building your Darkhold characters for these events is better than building any other character for these events. These guys are the new arena team, and in my opinion, they're going to be the new Infinity Watch equivalent. You're going to be able to use them in every mode to maximum success, from War Offense to Tower to the Crucible. They are going to be critical. They're a critical team. So if you need to build up anybody, I suggest building up Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and make sure you check out the infographics I'm going to have up for these characters in the coming days, really. Doctor Strange might come out today as far as infographics go. Check the Discord. I'll include that in the link below. So yeah, I think that's very important. They're just such a great team, and obviously they come with other three members. We got Morgan, Agatha, and Wong coming in hot. They're the new team. They're the reason we're doing these events, right? The campaign is for Doctor Strange Heartless. Presumably this Pocket Dimension is going to be for Agatha because we know Wong is Blitz, and we know Morgan is the Scourge event. Just my opinion. Maybe Madeline will be the Pocket Dimension. Maybe there won't be a character associated with the Pocket Dimension. But nonetheless, if you need to build characters, build these two. They'll give you the most longevity out of any characters you might have to build. And Scarlet Witch can help you sustain through the nodes, which is pretty cool. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And go check me out on Valley's weekly news video. I was so excited when he asked me to come. He's the reason I really got into Marvel Strike Force. He was the first content creator I saw. I was lost at the time. I took a lot of advice from him. Let me share a little bit with you. The thing that he said the most, that resonated with me the most, was max your arena team and max your raid team. I've taken that to heart. I've done that with all my teams in the past, like my Infinity Watch, I maxed them out. This Darkhold team, I'm gonna max them out. My raid teams, I maxed them out. And that helped me climb quickly into like higher level alliances. He's a great bastion of just enjoyment and knowledge in the Marvel Strike Force community. And you've probably seen him if you're watching me, but if you haven't, make sure you go check out Valley. Anyway, guys, stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Peace.